Stories that Dick Sargent, Darrin #2 on Bewitched, came out as gay are false and untrue.
Imagine finding out that television's quintessential husband and father, Darrin Stevens, was actually gay in real life.
And Dick was just beside himself.
Oh, yes. And you might also inform Complete that we can't repair anything here.
But what are you here for?
My buddy.
Your buddy.
Yeah.
Scary it was to be in the industry and to worry every minute that you were going to be outed, to always be looking over your shoulder.
Read statistics such as the fact that suicides among gay and lesbian young people is 3 times what it is for straight kids.
Timing of Dick's death in 1994, he was concerned many would assume his death would be announced as a result of AIDS.
How many of you now disapprove of him because of what he has publicly stated that he is and was during all those years in Hollywood homosexual?
Stories that Dick Sargent, Darrin #2 on Bewitched, came out as gay are false and untrue. He did not come out as gay. He was outed, a term that describes someone else or something else, as in a media outlet, announcing that they have proof that someone is gay. As his best friend is on record as saying, Dick Sargent did not want to come out. He wanted to remain in the closet to protect his Hollywood career. Coming up, we will hear from that friend and hear her story about what really happened and why.
And Dick was just beside himself. So because we'd been friends all the way back since Broadside, he called and asked me what I thought he should do.
We'll also see the full clip of Dick Sargent on the then Geraldo Rivera controversial talk show announcing, after being forced to, that he was indeed a gay man working and living in Hollywood.
Oh, no, I couldn't play golf. I'd be worried sick about you.
Now switch the channel. Imagine finding out that television's quintessential husband and father, Darrin Stevens, was actually gay in real life.
Well, on October 11th, on the 3rd annual National Coming Out Day, that actor playing Darrin Stevens, Dick Sargent, shocked the nation with his announcement that he was gay.
By way of quick background, Dick Sargent was born Richard Stanford Cox in 1930 into a Hollywood family. After attending Stanford University, he quickly was successful as a working actor, much thanks going to his father, a Hollywood business manager, and his mother, an actress. Before the TV show Bewitched ever hit the air, he was one of the first offered the role of Darrin Stevens to Elizabeth Montgomery, Samantha on Bewitched. But he turned it down because he had already chosen to appear in the new TV show called Broadside.
Complete is asking about those invasion vehicles.
Invasion vehicles? Well,
That sounds like it has something to do with the war. Affirmative, sir. They were abandoned by the Marines after they took Ronakai from the Japanese.
oh, those invasion vehicles. Yes, I noticed them on the beach the other day when I was surf fishing.
Well, Lieutenant, I'm sorry, sir. Well, shall I check them out and see if they can be repaired, sir? Check what out? The invasion vehicles. Oh, yes. And you might also inform Complete that we can't repair anything here till they replace the motor pool that they transferred on us. Why, I can't even get my contour chair fixed.
Why, check on that, sir. The replacements are flying in today.
Well,
It was during that production of Broadside that he met someone who would become a lifelong friend, Sheila Kuehl. She, too, became a cast member on Broadside. But long before that, she had a successful career in radio as a child. However, Sheila became most known as Zelda Gilroy alongside Gilligan Island's Bob Denver on the 1959 show The Many Loves of Dobie Gillis.
my good buddy marching off to Matrimonialsville. I mean, like, woe is me.
Maynard, how many times do I have to tell you they're not married?
Like a lass and a lack, like a... They're not? It's over so quick? What an age we live in.
Maynard, concentrate. Dobie and Jane just went through what is called a marriage by proxy. Understand?
No.
Look, Jane always wanted a big wedding with her family all around, but Eddie got this job down in South America, so he couldn't be here for the ceremony. So Dobie took his place. Dobie is Eddie's proxy. That's like a substitute. Get it?
Dick and Sheila remained friends after Broadside. Dick would learn that Sheila was a lesbian, and Dick secretly confided in his new friend that he also was gay, but intended to remain in the closet. Years later, Dick Sargent died on July 8, 1994, from what was announced as prostate cancer. It wasn't until after his death that Sheila broke her silence, talking about the circumstances of how Dick was ultimately outed. Before we watch the Geraldo Rivera appearance, let's listen to Sheila tell the circumstances that surrounded Dick's appearance on that show.
What happened was Dick Sargent, who had gone from being on Broadside and then had done Bewitched and was quite a well-known popular actor, was being threatened with being outed in one of the magazines. Because there were a number of publications in the gay community that were always very upset at people who didn't come out. And so they would threaten to out people. And Dick was just beside himself. So because we'd been friends all the way back since Broadside, he called and asked me what I thought he should do, because I was quite successfully out of the closet. And I said, you know, you have to really come out. And he said, I can't do that. Will you do it with me? And I said, of course. I mean, I've done everything but take a sign on Sunset Boulevard. Everybody knows, especially after, the People magazine was about to talk about me again. So we did a rally at the Gay and Lesbian Center in Los Angeles, which was a day when Governor Wilson had vetoed one of the bills that would protect gay people at work from discrimination. He had vetoed the bill. There were large demonstrations. And so there was a rally at the center, and I said, Dick, you should just come, and you should speak about why it's important to be out at work and not to be fired for being out at work. What could be more perfect? And I'll be standing right there with you. You know, they all know I'm gay, so now they're going to know you're gay. So he did, and there was immediate interest in some of the talk shows, the morning ones. Good Morning America wanted us to be on, and Geraldo wanted us to be on. And so Dick said, I'll do it if you'll do it with me. And I said, well, I don't want to do Geraldo. I think that's demeaning. And he said, no, that's just exactly the audience we have to talk to. So I said, okay, I'll do whatever you need me to do. So we went on Good Morning America, and we went on Geraldo.
Now to the Geraldo Rivera appearance. It happened on November 1st, 1991. Here is a large portion of that interview. We'll come back after this clip to share more information and then ultimately end this program with the full Geraldo hyped up 20-minute clip of that appearance, if you'd like to watch that entire interview.
But first, ladies and gentlemen, Dick Sargent. On Bewitched, his Darrin made TV magic as the devoted husband and father who was keeping his witch wife from exposing her supernatural secret to the world. But in real life, he was the one in hiding. Well, at age 61, he's taken on what he considers his most challenging and important role as the first principal actor to publicly admit that he is gay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dick Sargent.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
They love you, don't they?
Yeah, I hope.
Do you love them or?
Yeah.
But how many of you now disapprove of him because of what he has publicly stated that he is and was during all those years in Hollywood homosexual? Come on.
Oh, you're being nice, aren't you?
Really? Now, you don't disapprove?
Wow.
All right, well,
The world is changing, isn't it?
is the world changing? Is that why you did
Well,
it?
I hope. That's one reason I did it. It's been coming on for quite a long time, but I was semi-outed by the Star, one of that marvelous, trashy newspaper, so I'm suing at the moment about something else.
What was the headline when they ran the story?
The worst. So, it was Bewitched Star 58. I love that because they cut off 3 years.
Oh, that was
dummies. Besotted by Gay Pal 28. Besotted, I think they should get a medal for using that word. Nobody ever used that.
Besotted, does that mean that you were head over heels?
Oh, I was, let's say, fixated. It's all over with now, so let's forget it.
Oh, you mean that guy's over?
Yeah, but that actually was part of it. I've been doing, a lot of thinking about it for about the last year and a half or 2 years. So that, then National Coming Out Day came around, and that was a good excuse to do it.
All right, before we show you that entire 20-minute clip, let's ask the question, why was Dick Sargent so concerned about coming out himself? What was he, to quote Sheila Kuehl, horrified about? Sheila explains what it was like being gay in Hollywood at that time.
Well, it was we were on it simply so that Dick could say why he had come out. And I talked about how scary it was to be in the industry and to worry every minute that you were going to be outed, to always be looking over your shoulder. And from my experience, and I'd been out of the industry for quite a while, so I had nothing to lose. In that profession, how scary it is everywhere. Since Wilson had just vetoed the bill, saying that we were protected at work, how scary it was because you could be fired. You could be demoted. You could be told, I'm not hiring any gay people here. And it wasn't against the law. So my thing, of course, as a lawyer and a law professor, was also to say there ought to be a law. It's an important thing to have an anti-discrimination law, and Wilson did a bad thing, which was great. I got to say it on national television. And that's why we were on it. But the story was Dick's coming out.
Fast forward several years later, after he had done all the talk shows, he had already come out when Dick Sargent was asked to be the Grand Marshal of the Gay Pride Parade in West Hollywood, California in 1992, which was 2 years before his death. His instant thought after he was asked, I wonder if Elizabeth Montgomery, also a longtime friend and his co-star on Bewitched, would co-Grand Marshal with him. He called, asked, and she said yes. Here's some of that footage.
And now, our Grand Marshals. This year, they are Elizabeth Montgomery and her very close friend and co-worker, Dick Sargent. Their appearance today symbolizes the growing solidarity among all of our lifestyle communities. Dick Sargent, who's always been active in human rights causes, came out a year ago. And he's been making many personal appearances discussing gay lifestyle, the role of Hollywood, and homosexuality, the political atmosphere that lesbians and gays experience, and the atmosphere that they can influence. As I mentioned to you, he's a very good friend of mine since we worked together on a series years ago. Dick is a wonderful man. And I want to tell you, he told me this morning that coming out was the best thing he ever did. It has enriched his life, and he's found a community. Dick Sargent and Liz Montgomery from Bewitched. Crowd loves them.
Hello there, whoever I'm talking to. I have no idea. I'm deaf as a post now.
Well, Dick, you're talking to me, and you better get up here quick.
Sheila, I love you.
Richard, I love you too.
I'll see you in a couple of minutes.
You look so gorgeous. You both look gorgeous. You wouldn't believe how you look on television. Oops, I guess you would believe it.
Oh, there you are.
Yes, here I am up here. Wave. Ah, yes, good.
This is naturally lovely, but I have heavy makeup on. I've seen a few minutes.
Okay, Dick. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Liz.
Hi, I'm Ralph Ewell, Artistic Director of the Great American Yankee Freedom Band of Los Angeles.
Elizabeth, what are you here today for?
My buddy.
Your buddy.
Yeah. And for everybody else that's here, and hope that everybody watching is going to have as good a time as we are.
Yeah, we're going to have a marvelous time. And hi, Sheila. I want to say hello to my friend Sheila. I'll be joining you in a few minutes.
So Dick Sargent ultimately came out by his own doing on National Coming Out Day in 1991. Though he didn't choose the timing, he was ultimately thankful that he did, often citing the high suicide rate among gay young people. Because of the timing of Dick's death in 1994, he was concerned many would assume his death would be announced as a result of AIDS. But the truth, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1989, 17 years after his run on Bewitched. Doctors originally thought he could be treated, but sadly, the disease continued to spread over 5 years, and it was 5 years later that he died in July of 1994. Dick Sargent was cremated. Before his untimely death, Dick Sargent would become admired by many in Hollywood due to his relentless charity work with such organizations as Special Olympics, the Christian Children's Fund, AIDS Project Los Angeles, and the American Foundation for AIDS Research. Dick was 64 years old when he passed away. We leave you now with that entire 20-minute clip of Dick Sargent and Sheila Kuehl, along with others, appearing on the Geraldo Rivera Show on November 1st, 1991. Take care, everyone.
But first, ladies and gentlemen, Dick Sargent. On Bewitched, his Darrin made TV magic as the devoted husband and father who was keeping his witch wife from exposing her supernatural secret to the world. But in real life, he was the one in hiding. Well, at age 61, he's taken on what he considers his most challenging and important role as the first principal actor to publicly admit that he is gay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Dick Sargent.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
They love you, don't they?
Yeah, I hope.
Do you love him or?
Yeah.
But how many of you now disapprove of him because of what he has publicly stated that he is and was during all those years in Hollywood homosexual? Come on.
Oh, you're being nice, aren't you?
Really? Now, you don't disapprove?
No. Wow.
All right, well,
the world is changing, isn't it?
Is the world changing? Is that why you did it?
Well, I hope. That's one reason I did it. It's been coming on for quite a long time, but I was semi-outed by the Star, one of that marvelous, trashy newspaper, so I'm suing at the moment about something else. What
was the headline when they ran the Star?
The worst. So, it was Bewitched Star 58. I love that because they cut off 3 years.
Oh, that was
dummies. Besotted by gay pal 28. Besotted, I think they should get a medal for using that word. Nobody ever used that.
Besotted, does that mean that you were head over heels?
Oh, I was, let's say, fixated. It's all over with now, so let's forget it.
Oh, you mean that guy's over?
Yeah, but that actually was part of it, but I've been doing, a lot of thinking about it for about the last year and a half or 2 years. So that, then National Coming Out Day came around, and that was a good excuse to do it.
Why don't we tell folks what exactly National Coming Out Day is, although it gets some press, and it is the third year that it has been done. Why don't you just explain briefly what it is?
Well, it's a day for people to declare their sexuality, which naturally takes the longer build-up than just that one day, and probably it would take, weeks and months and years to come to that conclusion. When you read statistics such as the fact that suicides among gay and lesbian young people is 3 times what it is for straight kids. That's another reason I leaped into it.
You mean to provide a role model?
Yeah, somebody said I was a retroactive role model because the reruns.
Oh, the reruns are on all over the place, huh?
I know it. I do a lot of work for Special Olympics, which is my pet charity activity. And lots of times the kids being mentally handicapped will come up to me and say, "Why do you look so old?" All I know is the reruns.
Now, you're an Army brat, right?
Well, yeah, my father was in the First World War as a private and came out as a colonel.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think he bought it, but he did it somehow. I don't know how he did it.
Did he know? Did your parents know?
No, he died when I was 11. Oh, I always thought he had a suspicion, because my sister was a tomboy, as they used to say, who grew up straight. I hasten to say, just because she's been married 4 times, I think. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I can relate.
And I think he had suspicions. I don't know.
So you got to Hollywood, what, around 21?
Yeah, I left Stanford. I was at Stanford University. I left after my junior year because I knew I wanted to be an actor. And I could have a degree in everything and be the world's worst actor. So I thought, why spend the money? So I came to Hollywood, got an agent eventually. Got a few jobs, worked with Ronald Reagan, as a matter of fact, in a picture once. I think it was probably his last picture, deservedly so.
Was there a chimp in it? Or no chimps?
No, I think called Prisoner of War.
Did you know when you got to Hollywood that you were gay by then?
I'd known from birth. I mean, literally. And it's not a choice. It's something that, you know, science is coming down to it more and more, that it's a genetic thing. That I think that that's true of everybody. It's not something that happens to you.
Is it true that you phonied your bio in those days and put down that you had been previously married just to help cover your sexual preference?
Sure. It was something you had to do in those days. And still do, I think. A lot of people still do it. Yeah, I put down that I was traumatized by my first marriage, and which I would have been.
If only they'd known, that's true.
And I was dating ladies, and you know, I had sexual relations with ladies, and I knew that it was just not right, and I was hurting a couple of ladies in my life very much. So it just was too cruel to do, and to deny myself, and that's why I did it.
But then you went on to lead an incredibly secret life, a dual life in many ways.
Well, that's, you know, if you're taught from birth that you're a third-class citizen, that the church tells you you're going to go to hell, and your parents want you to marry and have kids, and having kids is supposed to be the be-all and end-all of life, which of course it isn't. You know, so I'm not saying, not denying that's an important part of life, but that's not what life is really about, I don't think. And you taught all those things, all those negative things all your life. And you do go through suicidal and depressive times, and I've gone through those times. And all of a sudden, maybe the world's changing so fast that it just was the right time, and I said, it is time. That's it. And I hope we can get to the point where we can have a conversation at dinner with a bunch of strangers, let's say, and say things like, yeah, I'm gay, would you pass the salt?
But I'm curious, did you have what's generally called a beard, or at least it used to be called a beard? Did you have a girl that you a woman that you took to studio cocktail parties as cover?
I had several. I dated some of the contract players when I was in a contract at Fox and Universal, and they weren't, I hate beard because that's like you're using somebody deliberately. I never made any pretense of going on the make for them. I think they have probably other suspicions. I don't know.
Just suspicions? They didn't know?
I don't think so. Well, they did when I started living with my lover. I had a lover for 20 years who dropped dead of a cerebral hemorrhage 12 years ago. And
you could you mourn him publicly? Could you?
I did. That's when I think I started coming out. And I came out to my friends, and more, and now there's nobody that doesn't know.
Did Samantha know? Did Elizabeth Montgomery know?
I think so, because my lover was alive then. We used to play tennis with them, with her and her husband, and we'd travel a little together now and then. And she's a very understanding, beautiful lady.
Did she ever say, you know, I know, Dick?
No, we have now. It took a while. You know, again, it's timing, I think. You have to go through certain times in your life, and it's just the right time.
You know, I wonder now, I can understand all of the reasons, and we'll get into it in more detail as the show progresses, for not coming out in what we said, I think accurately, is a homophobic Hollywood. You know, the ability to work again, etc. Mm-hmm. I wonder now that you have done it, do you fear that economically you have slit your throat?
Yeah, I do. I had a friend of mine, or an interviewer, I guess it was, the other day, said, is this going to be a shot in the arm for your career? And I said, yeah, a shot of cyanide. Because
I hope that's not true, but I wonder if it's not.
You know, I should work. I have to work. There are other things if I don't.
I mean, you're not independent's wealthy. You don't have a gold mine stash.
I've got some money, but not enough to last the rest of my life, I don't think. I have to work. And that's, you know, I'm doing voiceovers a lot, which helps.
You got that
you're anonymous.
Big voice.
Well, it's sinus conditions, I think. But anyway, I do that a lot, and that's anonymous, so you can do that. But on a sponsor level, I don't think there's a sponsor, unfortunately, who would hire a known gay to play the father of a family.
I know that gay themes are still the most controversial on TV.
Yeah, and if people would just realize we are just people. We are just people. The sexuality is a minor part of our life. We make it so important on heterosexual or gay terms. It's not that be-all and end-all of existence either. And we're just human beings that deserve to have the dignity and respect that other people do.
You're a couple of weeks now since you've done this national coming out. Do you regret it?
Not at all. I'm more enthusiastic about it every day of my life. I get total strangers come up to me and hug me.
Really?
Yeah, male and female. I've gotten one letter, as a matter of fact, from a lady that praised my career and my choices and was very, very complimentary and said that I'd given her the courage to come out herself. And I think that'll happen more and more. And people will be more at peace with themselves when that happens.
Wow. Okay. Dick Sargent is going to stay here for all our questions. We'll be joined shortly by Sheila James Kuehl, who hails from Dobie Gillis territory, who is here to tell us how a gay rumor cost her character, Zelda, a shot at her own spin-off series. We'll do that and much more because celebrity gays coming out of the closet is the focus of this edition of Geraldo. Celebrity gays coming out of the Hollywood closet. Our focus today. Thank you.
Hi. I just want to say I came out 16 years ago, and I know what a relief it is.
Good for you.
I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for you.
You think his life will be better, more simple now?
Definitely. My mom's here. She's been with me the whole way.
Stand up. Come here, Ma. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Get a shot of Ma down there.
And your real friends will always love you no matter what.
Of course.
Come on, Jim Bob, get a shot of smiling Ma. There she is. Hi, Ma. You're a pretty lady.
Pretty mother.
Yes.
Hi, are you have any upcoming projects coming up? Any projects?
Not definitely. I'm doing a lot of things at the moment. I'm going back to painting, which I love. There's some talk of other things, but nothing's ever definite until it happens in Hollywood.
That's for sure.
It's for Dick Sargent. How many years was Bewitched on television?
It was on 8 years. I did the last 3 years.
Well, that speaks for itself, and I wish you lots of luck in your coming endeavors.
Thank you.
I'm one of your favorite friends. My question to you, though, to come out, does that mean you change, or does something change about you, or what does it exactly mean?
Yeah, a lot happens. Was that directed to me, or I'm sorry?
Yes. That's actually an excellent question.
Yeah, a lot happens. I'm a little more wary of some things and a little more open about others. There are enough crazy people in this world that hate whatever, let's say it's gays, who are liable to just, do something radical. I will live with that fear, I guess. However, the overpowering feeling of love that I'm getting from everybody else more than compensates for that fear.
Hi, if you don't mind me asking, when I look at it, I'm not against you or anything. I'm for, the way you react to other people, but when I look at a man, the things that attract me are his eyes, his hair, his build. When you look at another man, what attracts you?
I'll buy that.
Well, how's that as an answer?
Could you be...
Did you expect him to say just his mind, or...
is that what attracts you also?
No, I'm making a joke, but actually the first thing would be the mind, I think, yeah. That's what you live with.
Yes.
Yes, I was this morning on Geraldo Rivera show, and she said there was a tour speaking that so many girls single. I have a daughter, 35 years. She can't find a man because we have too many gays. I get mad. I'm married 42 years with my husband, and I have to...
Dick Sargent, it's all your fault that her daughter can't find a man. If you just come to your senses, this poor girl could get a date.
Too many.
I know, honey. Life is unfair. I get so upset myself. I don't know why that. Yes.
I was very interested to hear you say that your father passed away when you were 11, and yet you were sure that he knew, or you suspected that he knew.
Yeah, I always had that feeling.
That's very young for him to know that.
Yeah, and for Dick to know as well.
No, I think people in the audience would be very interested to know that those symptoms do show up so early in life.
Yes,
it's not a choice you're making.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say earlier. It isn't a choice. It's something from the time I first started looking at people, I would be more attracted to men. Doesn't make me effeminate. Doesn't make me masculine. Doesn't make me anything. People have got to realize that we're not people in drag, or
it's not like Cajafo.
No, that's an element of our society.
Or it may be at one end of the spectrum, and the other end could be a button-down Wall Street banker.
Right, and of course, a lot of people who are female impersonators are straight and married with kids. So the spectrum is huge, and I just felt that was normal for me.
From 1959 to 1963, our next guest tried everything to win Dobie Gillis's heart. But for the actress who played Zelda, Sheila James Kuehl, she did all she could do to conceal her real-life romantic feelings for her long-term lesbian lover. Sheila is now an attorney. She is managing director of the Southern California Women's Law Center in Los Angeles. We are also joined by the psychologist Rob Eichberg. He is the author of Coming Out. He is, incidentally, or not incidentally, quite relevantly, the founder of this new holiday, National Coming Out Day, where both Dick Sargent and Sheila announced that they were gay. Sheila, welcome. Delighted to have you. Look at that face. Everybody remembers that face, right?
It's the same old face.
Same
right?
old face. Right?
Or actually, it's
nice
the old
face.
face.
Nice face. Dobie loves Zelda. You just saw her picture. Was it a big, big decision for you, Sheila, to come out?
Well, it's interesting, Geraldo, actually. I've been out for 15 years. I mean, it's because I haven't been an actress, really, for 25 years. And to my family, to my friends, to everybody I work with, to the people in the legal profession, I was appointed to the Sheriff's Investigatory Commission in LA, which is the sort of the counterpart to the Christopher Commission, as a representative from the gay and lesbian community. So it was not a big decision, but I guess there's still 199,999,000 Americans that didn't know.
And how has their or our reaction been generally? Can you categorize it in a general way?
Well, it's interesting. I hear from people who know me how amused they are. They're in restaurants, or they go to a neighborhood watch meeting, in their neighborhood or whatever, and people say to them, not knowing that they know me, "Do you know what I heard on television this morning? Zelda Gilroy is gay." So the next reaction, I think, is really positive. I mean, the only negative reaction I got is I got a very curt note from a cousin of mine in St. Louis who apparently, I'm sure, is very upset because now all the remote edges of the family are going to be somehow tainted by this. I hope so. They deserve it.
Oh, no. You can speak directly to the cousin. Look right into that camera.
I probably am at this moment. And anyway, I want to tell my cousins I still love you, and I'll look forward to seeing you when I come back there.
Well, that's nice. Did Zelda, or was she really in the running for her own spin-off?
Yeah, the third year, Dobie Gillis went for 4 years altogether, and in the third year, Zelda was a very popular character. I mean, even now people tell me how much they loved her and liked the fact that she was the only really smart girl on television. And Max Schulman decided to write a pilot for Zelda, a spin-off pilot. And we shot the pilot. CBS was very high on it. We got nothing but, absolute assurances it was going to be a go. And then there was this sudden silence, and it didn't go. And a couple weeks later, the director of Dobie Gillis asked if he could we have a private conversation, kind of walk around the block? And he said, I had to tell you because this is all going on behind your back, but there are just rumors that you're homosexual, and, well, they couldn't do the show and take the chance. So that was it.
How old were you then? Do you remember?
21, I remember, because...
And I wonder how that affected you. I mean, what went through your mind, your heart, etc.?
I was absolutely panicked. I was so scared. I didn't sleep for weeks. My hands would shake. I thought, well, if the president of CBS knows, everybody's going to know. I started, my first relationship was with a woman, and it began when I was 18 years old. We were together for almost 20 years, very much like with Dick. And I knew my career would be over, but I thought if I just stayed in the closet, I made up a boyfriend who lived in New York.
You should have dated Dick. Would have been perfect.
Well, Dick and I did a series together. Yeah, and it wasn't until much later when we came out to each other that it was, the irony of it is just extraordinary.
Dick, you want to say anything?
I just love Sheila. She's one of the people I idolize in my life. I just think she's the most marvelous kind of role model and activist that I've known. We did a series together, as a matter of fact. It was a thing called Broadside, which is the reason I didn't do Bewitched originally, because I had signed to do that.
A lot of feminist consciousness there.
On Broadside, yeah. That and Baywatch.
Right, exactly.